Hey guys, it's me Nina and I'm back with another video this week. I have finally bought that Rode camera. I don't even know like the correct name for things, but basically I tried it out on my own and the audio seems to be so much better. So I'm hoping that you are currently listening, or you can maybe, if you watch my other videos, you can see a clear difference in how I sound. If you're new to this channel, I am an urban educator and I also really enjoy writing blog posts and creating content online that shares my faith journey as a Christian and can hopefully offer some sort of hope for those of you who are Christian or not Christian. But yeah, that's kind of like a little spiel about who I am and why I'm here. And today I wanted to change things up a little bit and do something that I used to do a lot more when I first started this channel, but stopped when I kind of lost my direction. And at the core, when I first started my channel, I would share a lot of mini sermons or like mini messages or things from the Bible with the hope that it would give you guys some hope. And recently I felt God speaking to me through a particular passage and a story that I heard. So I thought, why not share this story with you guys, because maybe it can offer you hope in the same way that it offered me hope. I don't think I originally saw this article on this website. I don't know how I saw it, how I got on here, but basically the title of the article is God Answers Francis Chan's Ridiculous Prayer for a Faith-Filled Son-in-Law. And I don't even think it's like the most ridiculous prayer okay, it is kind of ridiculous, but it's not just for like a faith-filled son-in-law. Okay, let me backtrack a little bit and tell you what happened. So, okay, if you don't know who Francis Chan is, he is an amazing man of God. He has such a beautiful heart for God. I feel like other people want fame and followers and they want all these things, and Francis Chan got it kind of easily and stepped away from it. And I think he's such a testimony of someone who loves God so much, and I always look to him as an example, you know, and I'm touching my hair a lot. And something really interesting is, like, he looks really young to me, but apparently he has a daughter who's old enough to get married. And he has this big ministry and worked with this young man, and he said that he doesn't even know my daughter, and he prayed this, he doesn't even know my daughter, but make him fall in love with my daughter and make my daughter fall in love with him. So essentially he saw this man, he saw how faith-filled he was, how amazing this kid was, and he prayed for this guy who doesn't even know his daughter to fall in love with his daughter and for his daughter to fall in love with him. And like, that's kind of insane when you really think about it. Like, he's asking for something like totally insane. Like who would even think to pray for like a specific person? Or I wouldn't think to pray like that. But weeks and months passed by, nothing happened. And Chan prayed again, God, I'm so used to you answering things and I feel distant from you. I don't know how they know this. Like, I don't know, maybe Francis Chan did share this somewhere. I'm always skeptical of things, but Christianity Today should be an accurate source, but I feel distant. I never prayed this before. I'm sorry. I felt insecure. I know you love me and I know it's not about feelings, but I'm going to ask, can you show me some love this morning? And an hour later, after he prayed that, Chan was stunned because this guy named Justin, who he'd been praying about for his daughter, came and asked Francis Chan if he could ask his daughter out. And you can kind of guess what happens next. Essentially what happened was this guy ended up marrying Francis Chan's daughter. And I sent this story to one of my friends and she was saying, like, okay, that's cool for Francis Chan, you know, like why doesn't that happen for me? And I don't know, I kind of took it like a different way. I kind of took it as, why don't I pray specific prayers to God and ask for seemingly crazy things in hopes that if God is the God of the universe, that he would give me something that, like, it's like a father, or even for me as a teacher, if a student asks for something and it is something good, I want to give that, you know, like, I'm not like a bad person. I care about my students, and God is not a bad father. He cares about us. And I really want to delve into this idea of why we don't ask and what could be the reason why we sometimes don't get things when we do ask. And ironically enough, or you know what, with God there are no coincidences. So I was reading through James 4. Mostly I was reading through the book of James just because I didn't know where to look at the Bible, and the Bible's so big and James is so juicy. So I went to James because there's so much you can pull out of it. And James chapter 4 verses 2 to 3 is what stood out to me. You desire but you do not have, so you kill. You covet. Covet is like to desire, but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. Quarrel means to fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. So first, sometimes we don't even ask God. And I think part of that can also come down to not even knowing what we want. And I'm gonna give a quick shout out to my friends over at Earn, Spurn, Live. They're not like, no one is sponsoring me. So they are these awesome girls. I worked with them once in a video and they came out with a workbook. So check this out. I love these types of things, and they have like trackers and planners, and like you put out on it like ideas of what you want and like specific goals and different things kind of like that. And it's like really pretty. And something I realized when I go through this, and I also did the passion planner, which also helped me with this, is part of the reason we don't reach goals because we don't write them down. And part of the reason we don't write them down is sometimes we don't know whatever it is that we actually want. We have no idea what it is that we want. And that's part of the reason why we don't ask. So my challenge, I keep thinking something is moving and nothing's moving on my screen. So I don't know. Oh, the ad is going like, psh, so that's why I think something's moving. Okay. But I think part of what we need to change about how we approach the presence of God is going to God's presence and taking time and not even asking like whatever it is that I want, but asking God, what is it that you want? And when I met with my financial counselor, one thing she said to me is, okay, I wanted to kind of go, and I was hoping she'd give me like a formula, like give this much. And God does say to give 10%, but I wanted like a very specific guide about how to spend all my money. And her invitation for me was, look at your finances, pray to God, and ask God where He wants you to spend, save, and give. And maybe we sometimes need to do that with our own lives. God, this is my life. This is everything. This is everything I value. What is it that you want from me? Next, verse 3 says, when you ask, you do not receive because you ask with the wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. So that's another major issue that we face. We sometimes ask with the wrong intention. So using the example as a teacher, if a student asks for me to just change a grade for no reason, I can't do that because that's unethical. But if a student were to go to me and say, hey, can I rewrite this? I didn't do as well, this counts for a lot, and I can have it back by tomorrow. Then you're asking with a good motive and you're asking for something beneficial, so why wouldn't I provide that to you? Unless I gave you a deadline. But I think God is like the same way sometimes, you know, like we go to God, and if we go with a right intention, that's completely different than going to God without a good intention. So my challenge for you is to ask God for seemingly crazy things and take the time to figure out whatever it is that God wants to do with you in your life. And I don't know if this is going to offer you any kind of hope, but I was doing this prayer challenge. It's actually from this book called Free, Spending Your Time and Money on What's Important. And part of the book challenges you to ask for 3 things. And within that week, I believe 2 out of the 3 things I got right away. I'm still waiting on the 3rd thing, but it's been a couple of years. But I think I didn't ask with the right intention, so I'll tell you what the 3 things were. The first thing I asked for seemed kind of ridiculous. I asked for a desk at work. I no longer have a desk, but I did have one for 2 years at work. And at the time I was asking it, it seemed kind of ridiculous because apparently like it's hard to get desks at the school I work at. It's very competitive. There's a lot of teachers and there's not a lot of space. And especially as a first year teacher, how am I going to get space in a room that's like not mine? But within a couple days or within that week, my co-teacher told me there was a desk in her room, and she pretty much squared out that space for me right from the get-go. And I could not have gotten that on my own. Second example is really silly, or may seem silly to other people, but I left my old apartment for the summer, and when I came back, there's always roaches, but there were a lot of roaches. Like, I left for 2 months essentially, and when I came back, there were so many roaches because no one was there. And I hate bugs, I hate them, and I prayed to God, you know, like there's this really big roach, and it like borderline is like a roommate in my room, and mentally I was like, I literally just ignored it. I like let it do its thing and like live my life. But I'm like, Lord, please, Lord, work. Like somehow let that roach be dead when I come home or whatever. And I went home and the roach was like on its backside dead. I still was terrified to like take the dustpan and like throw it away, but I would never have killed that roach. So God killed that roach for me. And the third thing I asked for was a spouse, or like to be with someone who's like God-fearing, and I believe that's what I asked for. And that has yet to come, but I'm sure in the right time that it will come. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of these videos that are focused on like stories and faith. I think Francis Chan's story is so encouraging, and do you have an instance like that where God worked out something perfectly like that shouldn't have been? I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments. If something amazing happened, comment down below, because that can be a praise report, or that can be encouraging to someone else who is scared or maybe not ready to ask for that crazy prayer yet. And yeah, that's it. And actually, I'm gonna add this because I feel like I have a small enough following that I could handle this. If you have like a specific prayer request or something that you would like me to think and meditate about for this coming week, comment down below and I will pray for you. Assuming like this doesn't become one of my videos. Actually, you know what? Even if this becomes like occasionally a video will do really well, even if this becomes a video that does randomly really well, I will pray for you this week. I'll pray for whoever comments down their prayer request down below. Okay, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy. Bye. See you next week.